is Abdul Rahman. I'm a lecturer at a public university in Kenya. I deliver lectures in computing and informatics. In our last lesson, we discussed about the malloc function, and we have seen that actually the malloc function actually reserves a single block of memory and into a very specific number of bytes. Today, we are going to take up further another function, which is an inbuilt function called the Calloc function. And in that particular journey, we are going to define what actually it is a Calloc function, and we are going to see its syntax, and basically we are going to implement it using up the dev C++. Let's start and see actually what it is a Calloc function. So a Calloc function actually stands for continuous allocation. So as from the name, the Calloc stands from continuous allocation. So basically we can say it actually as opposed to the malloc function, the Calloc function actually allocates a multiple block of memory. So this one actually it allocates multiple block of memory, and if the space it is actually insufficient, then an allocation fails. It returns what we call up a null pointer. So basically that takes us into its syntax. Basically its syntax is very simple. If this is our pointer, and then here we'll have the cast type, and then we'll have our Calloc, and we'll have the number of blocks which we want, and then basically we'll have our element type. So basically that it is actually the syntax. So for example, if we want our pointer of cast type, let's take for example a float, and here we have our Calloc function, and let's say our size is 5. So we'll have here the size of a float. So here what happens is that memory has been allocated continuous space of 5 elements, and each element actually contains the size of a float. And if the size of a float it is actually 8 bytes, then here we'll have 5 times 8, that will be our 40 bytes. So let's conceptualize the same thing. So our P basically will be something like this, and we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that will be our block 1, our block 2, our block 3, our block 4, and our block 5. So each of this particular block will be 8 bytes, and the whole thing will be 8 times 5, which is actually our 40 bytes. So basically this actually how will look like. So now from here let's go to dev C++ and try to implement the Calloc function and see what happens. So basically we are also going to take up a user to enter up the number of elements of an array, and then try to allocate dynamically the memory. So let's start here. So here we'll have our int, and then we'll have up our pointer, and here we'll have the number of elements of that particular array. So basically we are telling our user printf. What does it print? Actually to enter the number of the array elements. So here the user actually enters the number of an array element, and after that we are capturing it using upper scanf. So here we've got upper scanf, and basically we are saying in that particular scanf is of data type integer, and we are capturing it into the n variable. And then from there we are testing actually if our memory has been captured on capture using up an if statement, and that particular if statement we are saying if or before we can actually capture it, we have basically to allocate it. So we'll have our p, and in that particular p we are saying int, the typecast is of data type int, and we are calling up our function, that is the calloc, and onto that particular calloc actually we are saying n, because we want to allocate it dynamically. So n, the size of int. So there you have actually allocated dynamically. After allocating it dynamically, now you can use an if statement. So you can say if p is equal to null, then actually we have to get out. You say if p is equal to null, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to print up a message. So we are saying printf, and that particular message we are saying memory not allocated. So that will be our message that memory is not allocated. Else, so that's very important, else what we are supposed to do, else, so that's our else statement, and into that particular else statement of ours, basically what are we saying? What here we are saying, else we have to do something. So here we are saying printf, basically we are saying printf, we are saying actually now memory allocated, successfully maybe, using our calloc function. So memory allocated using up our calloc function, and we put up a line there, and then from there now what are we doing? Now from there we are saying now printf again, and this time we are saying actually to enter. So we can say now enter. So the maybe you have entered 5, so the 5th number of array elements. So that one will pause for you to enter actually the 5 numbers of array elements, and we want to put up into a line. So basically after pausing up for that, we are putting up our for loop now. For, so we are saying int I equals to 0. I should be actually less than I should be less than n, and I plus plus. So from there, that's what you're supposed to do. and into that particular one, actually now we after having that particular one, we are supposed to use up a scanf to capture whatever the user has entered. So into that particular scanf, we are saying %d, and we are putting up %d, and we are capturing it out into p. We are capturing it out into p plus i. So after capturing it into p plus i, now basically what are we saying? We are putting up another printf, and this time we want to print up the result after we have captured. So printf, and we are saying actually we are putting up a line, and we are saying the elements of the array are, so that one gives us the element of the array. So we actually want to print this particular element of an array, and we are putting up a for loop onto that. We are saying for, to read up everything, int I equals to 0, I should be less than n, and then we have got I plus plus. And onto that, basically what are we saying? We want to print. So actually we are printing printf. What are we printing? Basically we are printing %d, and we want to put up a comma, and then basically we are putting up p of I. So basically this is the demonstration of the Calloc function. So let's run it and see what happens. So when we run this particular program, enter the number of array, so that is 4. After that, say memory allocation allocated successfully using Calloc. Now enter the 4 elements of an array. So maybe we are going to enter 10, 20, 30, 40, and here it tells us the element of the array are 10, 20, 30, 40. So we have successfully actually implemented the Calloc function. Now until next time, in our next session, whereby we are going to talk about from that we are going to talk about the reloc function. So however, don't forget to subscribe into our next session. For now, I say bye.